Welcome to Co-Creating Now with Monica Goyle. Monica is a spiritual counselor and healer with a life purpose to put people in touch with their innate healing abilities, empowering them to live a life full of joy, love, peace, and abundance. Through this show, you'll learn to heal every aspect of your life by connecting to your higher self. And now your host, Monica Goyle, on the OMTimes Radio Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back. So grateful to have you this morning. And we have a very special guest today. Actually, we have Healer of Hearts today who will be teaching us how to open our hearts to love. Isn't that something? I think there are always two ways to view anything, either through the eyes of love or through the eyes of fear. And this comes from Shelly Wilson, the Healer of Hearts, who's executive editor for OMTimes and is such a wonderful, intuitive medium, Reiki master, and a spiritual growth coach who has also authored 3 books. And I have been reading those beautiful books that will connect you to your heart right away. So welcome, Shelley. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you, Monica. I'm so excited to be here today.
It's our honor. So, Shelley, tell us how you became Healer of Hearts.
Well, I love the title, and, I absolutely cannot proclaim to heal hearts, but I recognize that part of my purpose for incarnating here for this lifetime as Shelley is to assist people on their journey into consciousness and really recognizing that we can see things from a higher soul perspective, which is through the eyes of love.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will tell you, that title kind of came to me and felt really good because, I had always remembered, even when I was a child, asking the questions, who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And I had a reading with a woman. It was May 1st, 2008, and she ended up becoming my Reiki master. But what she told me, Monica, is she says, I just have to tell you, you're a healer. Your soul is here to help change the world. You have come here to shine your light so that you can remind other people of the truth of who they are.
Wow.
You allowing yourself to be a channel for spirit, allowing yourself to smile and to listen and to be available to people when they are in need and to see them differently than they see themselves. That's how you change the world, and that's how you heal hearts, one by one by one.
That's what she told you.
Yes, those were the first words that came to me in this reading. And I will tell you, I had the proverbial aha light bulb moment. And, this is a phone reading, so I'm sitting there and tears are coming down my face. But I'm smiling, and I could feel that my question, who am I, why am I here, what am I supposed to be doing, was being answered in that moment.
Wow. So, all your life, and tell me, because from my own experience, I have felt that restlessness, that longing that I'm not able to describe or put words to it, like what it is. Is it the same way that you felt there was something missing, or you were looking to find some answers, and that's what led you to that reader?
Yes, I had been a very sensitive child. I, had a lot of experiences and, I would even say out-of-body experiences. And I just always felt different. And I was raised Baptist, and my dad's a civil engineer. And so it was one of those households where we don't talk about things that we feel or that we see or know or things like that. And so I am now 44, but it was in 1999. So I was almost 29, or excuse me, 1980. I've got to get my years right. Yeah, it was 1999. And so I was almost 29 at the time, and I recognized as I almost woke up then, but looking back, I obviously wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. And then it was 2008, and I, as I said, had that reading, and then I really dived head first, shall we say, in a good way, into my spiritual journey. And that's when I delved into Reiki, became a Reiki master. And then that really gave me the confidence to move forward with developing my mediumistic abilities and my psychic abilities, because I was always sensitive. I'm a feeler, so I actually feel things on my body of what people are experiencing.
Yeah. So you always had those abilities, but never really, but were you aware, but not able to share with anyone? Or it was that all of a sudden that you became aware and you were like, oh yeah, I used to feel this way. I could read or I could recognize what was happening.
Yes, I really feel I'm a knower and I'm a feeler. So those are the two gifts, the claircognizance, which is clear knowing, and clairsentience, which is clear feeling. And so I always knew things, but I didn't know how I knew what I knew. And I didn't have anybody to talk about what I knew, but I just would always have information coming in. And so moving forward, and as I said, Reiki literally helped me to give me the confidence. And I think that's what I was really seeking, because I really had no confidence and just a lot of, even self-worth, self-esteem issues, that kind of thing.
Wow. It's so interesting because when I look at you, I just feel how perfect you are. And
well, I assure you I'm not perfect, but I've come a long way, baby, as the slogan is. And, I've really stepped into my power. And, it's been a process over time, but I have developed confidence. I have learned to love myself. I have learn to realize that every experience I've ever had made me who I am, and that it's all perfect, really in perfect order.
So even the seemingly unfortunate or not so good experiences you think were very much part of your journey to land you where you are now.
Of course, absolutely. And I think it's really hard sometimes as a human, when we see it through our human eyes, to understand that our challenges really assist with our growth and our evolution. And that's why I'm talking about seeing things through the eyes of love, because there is love and fear. There's really just those two vibrations. So love comes from that heart space, and the fear is that lower vibration. But fear isn't bad. We're human, so we need to experience the spectrum of human emotions.
Yeah. So now if you could go back to your childhood years, or the years before you got this reading, you mean your perception would, it would be very different how you would see things.
Yes, and I will tell you, there have been many times that I have questioned, why did I choose this on a soul level? Why did I choose that? What if this would have happened? And, and times that I really would want to change things. But I have to say, Monica, if I changed anything, it would definitely alter the course of who I am. So I have to know that every experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, made me who I am, just as it does for everyone else.
Right. That was important.
Yes, absolutely.
And so now that you have recognized it, you are so self-aware, and you are healer of hearts, helping so many people. Can I ask you, do you still get into that fear sometimes?
Yes, absolutely. I will tell you that I have my days. This full moon that we just experienced really affected me. And I woke up, just to give an example, I woke up Sunday and my heart was hurting, literally physically hurting. And I just felt, in so much pain. I felt sadness. I felt all of these emotions coming up within me. And, I really let it affect me Sunday. Yesterday, my mood shifted and I was more angry yesterday. And I'm like, what is all this about? And then it was early afternoon and then I just felt this peacefulness. And it was like, okay, I feel, Monica, that we have got to experience everything that we feel. If we just had this smile on our face and, let everyone think that everything's good all the time, and it's really not, because nothing can be, perfect all of the time, or what we would perceive to be perfect. So I think we have to allow ourselves as spiritual beings having this human life experience to feel what we're feeling.
Yeah, that's so true. But I mean, Shelley, what do you think was the reason of how you were feeling? Do you think it has to do with the moon or the
Well, I
energies?
think that, that could have accelerated it, but I think just a lot of things come up. And, with the full moon energies too, that's a time of releasing. So it's a time of letting go. And I shared this story on my Facebook page yesterday, Monica, but where I sit at, I can see the reflection of my door in my computer screen. And I happen to see a bird land. So I looked over my shoulder and there was a dove perched there. And now dove is all about, new beginnings and letting go of the old, shedding the old, according to the totem animal messages. So I loved that and, just acknowledged it and said, thank you. And it was probably about that time my mood shifted.
Yeah, that was a sign.
Yes, of course it was a sign. And I think we always receive signs, but do we recognize them or do we acknowledge them or do we accept them?
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting and so true. I mean, aren't we here all supposed to be happy?
I feel that's, I got chills, so Spirit gives me chills when that's truth. I really feel that our purpose is here to have a human life experience, to live a joyful, happy life, but also know that we're going to have challenges. So every day may not be rosy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how we can actually enjoy and celebrate that joy and happiness. Like, just see with that difference.
Yes. It's the contrast. If we had every day perfect, then we wouldn't understand or experience the full spectrum of this human life experience.
How wonderful. We will come back to our discussion and talk a lot more about healing our hearts. So please stay tuned with us.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
If you've ever said, I do want it all. I do want happiness. I do want love. And I do desire the happily ever after fairy tale life, then this show is for you. Join me, Dana Nicole Brandon, for my internationally acclaimed show, Bridal Talk Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'll bring you the top experts in the fields of communication, money, relationships, finance, pleasure, play, travel, sexuality, parenting, real estate, adventure, comfort, care, passion, and love.
Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids.
Welcome back, everyone. So we were talking about how Shelley became healer of hearts and her experiences and how all these experiences were important for where she is today. So Shelley, what is the cause of all the pain that we feel?
Well, I think a lot of it is our fear. And to me, fear is comprised of every energetic emotion that is not love. Mm-hmm. So that's the worry, the regret, the guilt, the shame. We see on the media, the news, Facebook, however we receive our information, what's going on around us. And what happens, Monica, is, we begin feeling that energy. There's a lot of people that are very sensitive, and what we focus on, we create more of. So, the physical pain that we experience may come from our external circumstances and our perception of them and allowing them to affect us. And I also feel, that when we're faced with health challenges, many times there is a root cause, a root energy or emotion that is creating them, because I feel like every experience, comes into our auric field as seeds, comes into our chakras, our energetic centers, and then to our physical body, whether it's from this to lifetime or from a previous lifetime. And so I feel, getting to the root cause of why we have issues will help us to understand that better.
Got it. But Shelley, if you say, or of course we all have heard that, and we know at a surface level that all these experiences are important, these challenges are important because these are part of our growth, the lessons we are here to learn. So then when we are supposed to face those challenges and learn those lessons, how is it that they will not affect us in this way?
Well, I think, it does have to do with a heightened awareness, with our evolution, so to speak. And, the thing is, we can react or we can respond. To me, those words are absolutely synonyms, but they have a much different vibration. And I think that part of our growth, when we come to Earth School for this lifetime, that it's a matter of, do we see the lessons that are surrounding us? How do we respond to them? And in order to understand the lesson, to me, we have to recognize there is one for us to learn. Now, Monica, we know that not everyone is operating on their six senses, that intuitive awareness as well, that many just operate on their five physical senses. Yeah. And I think that part of our purpose as light workers, as those that are intuitive, that are following their intuition, we can lead by example and provide others that assistance, even just that telepathic, energetic wave of love coming to them and saying, how are you going to respond?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I was just thinking, and I know, we have our regular lives and we go through our days and we all are going through these situations. Like, for instance, this morning, my 10-year-old was, got worked up about something. And the first reaction from me was, why do we have to start our morning this way, Why do we have to just stretch everything and argue about everything? But of course, that wouldn't help. That would just lead to more argument. And so then, as you said, it's like I started to send him that beautiful, loving energy. Okay, okay, I understand. But, let's not delve into it.
Right.
We'll talk about it, and it's okay. It's okay. Things happen and discussions happen, but you don't have to feel so bad, so sad about it. So it just changed. It changed it instantly. So
exactly, and
it's the energy.
Everything is energy, and it's
Yeah.
going to have a ripple effect. My daughter got a little upset with me because I stayed the night with her Saturday night and got up Sunday, as I already relayed the story in the first segment. I didn't feel so good. And so our plans were to eat breakfast, and I woke her up and I said, "Do you still want to eat breakfast?" She's like, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm just going to go ahead and go home." Well, she was very angry, and I could feel it the rest of the day. Said I could feel it yesterday. And then I finally said, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Well, you hurt my feelings.
Oh.
I knew you that you would do that." And I said, "But Caitlin, I knew that you would want to sleep, so we just have this cycle." And I think, being aware of someone else's feelings and, once again, how do we want to help them through it and just be loving and supportive and, let them express what they're feeling, because sometimes it's something more.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really nothing at all.
So true. Yeah. But one more thing, and I'm sharing this because, it happens to all of us or so many of us. So Shelley, about anger, right? Anger is a form of fear.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
So,
same vibration.
Yeah. So last Sunday, and which is not my usual thing, I had a meltdown. It's not me. What happened on Sunday and how I reacted. And that's because I think there was a lot of fear or anger that was accumulating over time. And I didn't release it in a positive or constructive way. So it came out in a destructive way, which was disturbing to me and everyone else. But I have to tell you, once I had that meltdown, after that, I felt so much lighter.
I'm sure. And, and now I'm sure, Monica, in this moment, you're reflecting back to that moment and how you felt. And you're smiling and you're laughing because it can be humorous. And I think it's okay. I really, really do, because we get to those points sometime where we want to explode. And so if we don't say what we want to say to whom we want to say it, if we hold it back, then, whatever the experience may be, I think we have to really express what we're feeling regardless of the emotion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important. But sometimes, again, then Shelley, it comes to how, we know that anger is a fear vibration. There is a way that we can communicate with love and or fear. We can choose to. But I think in our day-to-day life, every moment, it's very hard when you are in that state to be, be aware and to be able to hold back and say, I'm going to respond. So how do you suggest, are there any tools, any exercises, or anything that can bring us back to that awareness quickly? Okay, I'm getting into that state now. Yeah. How can I?
Well, I think, and I just love talking to you, Monica, because this whole time I just keep getting these chills coming through. And, what I really find that's important is just take a pause. Just breathe. If you can feel that energy welling up, because it is going to come from that root chakra energy, so you can feel it coming up into your abdominal region, coming up into your heart, and then you feel it in your chest and in your head. Be aware of it, and then just say, okay, how am I going to respond in this moment? And sometimes, it is just go ahead and get it out there, and then it's like breathe, relax. But I think being conscious, being mindful, our energetic emissions, our thoughts, words, actions, that's what we put out. And I think it's just an awareness factor. So a tip or a tool, I think, just become in tuned to your body so that you can feel that coming up, and then just take a big deep breath and visualize yourself breathing in some emerald green healing energy from Archangel Raphael, and then exhaling what you can't control or what's affecting you, and just come to that present moment. I find that sometimes people will say something to me, and sometimes I really want to say something back. And instead, I just breathe. And then it's like, what purpose will it serve to really say that, honestly? So sometimes just being silent for a moment and letting that thought pass through your mind and just letting it be is what's important.
And once that moment passes, then you realize, Why was I getting worked up about it?
Exactly. And that's why we look back and we laugh and we smile and say, oh my gosh, it's so, ridiculous. And I'm going to say something as well. I conveyed the experience to my husband about how my daughter was acting, and his words to me, Monica, he said, well, how does it feel to have you reflected back to you? And what he's meaning is that she's just like me. So I said, well, I don't think she's just like me. And he's like, oh, well, let me tell you. So.
Yeah, so many times, we do hear, we all hear that. Do you see? And, honestly, Shelley, I can see how my kids mirror me.
Yeah.
It's very hard to see that, It's like, oh my God, this is something I never wanted in you. But
well, we teach people, they emulate us, they observe by example, but I also feel that when that is mirrored back to us, they're teaching us, what do we see in them? And whether it's our children or our friends or our coworkers, whomever it may be, even just people we come across with, we have to ask ourselves in that moment, what am I to learn from this? Is this something that I'm projecting that's being reflected back to me in this moment?
I think most times it is, right? It's something that we don't accept of ourselves. That's,
Yeah, it does. Not always the case, but I think many times that is a good indicator.
We have that in us, yep. Yeah, most times it is that way. It is the part that we don't accept in us. How true that is.
Yes.
So that's really helpful. I think, as you said, I'll go back. You said, breathe in emerald green light.
Yes.
And
feeling energy. And that's the heart chakra energy too. That's the same color.
Yeah. And we will surely continue our discussion once we are back. So, listeners, please stay tuned with us.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she is feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization. Their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Are you ready to shift your energy, consciousness, and limiting beliefs? Join me, Shefali Burns, every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Shifting with Shefali here on OMTimes Radio. Shift the blocks, limitations, and negative energies that have kept you from experiencing a life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Are you ready to shift with Shefali? Are you ready to shine your brilliance?
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
And we are back. And we were talking about how, awareness can help, and the exercise of breathing in green light, that's the color of heart chakra, and Archangel Raphael's healing energy. So, Shelley, you said breathe in that and release whatever is happening or bothering.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, obviously, Monica, we breathe naturally, autonomously. And I think the more that we do conscious breathing, becoming mindful of those inhalations and those exhalations, it's going to help to bring us to that place of peace. We can allow what's happening around us to affect our internal state of being, or we can take control and internally allow ourselves to be centered and grounded at that peaceful place, and it can absolutely affect how we perceive and respond to those external circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Shelley, my question is, so if we release whatever is bothering, is it gone? I mean, is it gone from our consciousness, or do we still? So because there are a lot of experiences, and that, I mean, at that moment, even if we bring ourselves to peace, stick with us.
Absolutely. And sometimes if it's very deep or ingrained or conditioned within us, it's going to take a few times to let it go. I have triggers that affect me, different people and situations and memories, but I am getting better as far as how it does affect me. So I think when we have those moments or those memories that come into our awareness and we can just feel ourselves cringe, or we get upset, or we get angry, I think we need to recognize that there is something within that experience that we can really learn from. So it's not one of those things we think about it and it's gone. Many times it's going to be something that we really need to become aware of and work on and work through.
And it definitely takes time, and
yes,
it's practice. It's that awareness that definitely will help us.
Absolutely.
Get to that peace.
Yes.
That we are so looking for. That's beautiful. And Shelley, so I know you had your aha moment in 2008, although your whole life you knew and you had those questions about who you are and what is your purpose. And so many of us have those, and we feel lost and restless, but don't know how to help ourselves or how to bring that clarity.
Well, I definitely think, spending that quiet time and reflection, meditation, connecting and listening to our higher self, our angels, our guides, paying attention to that insight that comes into our mind, whether it's a thought, a feeling, impression, and a word or an image. Our guides are absolutely helping us and guiding us on this journey into consciousness. So I think a lot of people, honestly, from my perception, Monica, that feel lost or struggling or worthless, or many other adjectives we could apply, I really think that they are not in the present moment. Many times people are living in the past with the regret, the could have, would have, should have, the what ifs, the might have beens, or they're in the future trying to plan and figure everything out rather than bringing their energy in the now, in this present moment, and enjoying what is actually going on in their life. And I do believe that we co-create our reality with the universe. And it has to do with our energetic emission and what we're choosing to focus on, as well as how we perceive things and how we respond to them.
So there is destiny. There are lessons that we are supposed to learn when we are born, right?
Yes.
We come with those soul contracts.
Yes.
But then there is so much of the free will to make those challenges easier as we learn along the way.
I absolutely agree. And Spirit confirmed it for me with some chills again. You know, we are spiritual beings having a human life experience. So we do have free will to make the choices. And I think sometimes people feel like when they have an obstacle or a challenge, it's a roadblock, but in reality, it's simply a detour. And so, once again, how we're responding to it. And, you know, of course, this is a metaphor, but we can look at it literally when we get caught in traffic or, you know, there's lots of road issues, things like that. You know, are we getting all upset about it and responding that way? Or are we simply trusting that our time element or where we're at, whatever it may be, it's perfect in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very interesting. I just remembered the other day one friend posted, I mean, there were so many lives saved because of something coming up on 9/11. Like they were either stuck in traffic, late because the kids spilled something, so they were cleaning, you know, like,
yes.
And that's a sign, right? It's
absolutely. And I have chills all over in this moment. Absolutely. The thing is this happens every day and every moment, but many people are not aware or they pay attention unless it's something very huge that they can recognize, wow, you know, I should have been here when this happened, but I'm not. There's got to be something more. But it happens all the time, every day. And, you know, sometimes it may be misplacing a key and therefore we can't leave, or, you know, we may have a flat tire. We could go on and on with many, many scenarios. Sometimes, you know, we may become sick and we're unable to be at work. And, you know, there's just different things. And so it's not just applying to driving or working, but it is throughout our life in many, many different facets.
That also brings another question about the choices.
Yes.
So sometimes we have, you know, multiple choices and we pick something, you know, we decide something and then we regret it.
Yes. And I think, you know, sometimes we have to recognize that's part of the experience. We're supposed to have that moment of regret. Honestly, I feel like, you know, there's a couple of ways to look at this. First of all, we can choose again. Secondly, I think that, you know, there are no mistakes, that if we can shift the energy at a feeling like we've made a mistake and actually see it as an opportunity to learn and to grow, it's going to change that experience. You know, there's many times that I can think of that I'll order something at a restaurant and I'm, you know, deciding between two and I choose one. And then I'm like, you know what, I should have ate the other. Well, you know, you can order it again and take it to go, or you can return, or you can simply just let it go. You know, there's so many options there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, Shelley, I'm asking about the bigger situations in life, like making a job decision, making, you know, investments, certain investments, or, I mean, choosing the right partner.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many options that we can go down with this question. And I think, too, sometimes if we feel like we've chosen wrong, I think we also need to see the blessings within that choice and say, well, what did I learn from it? Or who did I meet? Or what did happen? And, you know, there's so many ways to look at things. And once again, Monica, that is observing from that higher soul perspective through the eyes of love.
Yeah. And like you said, there are no mistakes, actually.
No.
I guess.
In the big scheme of things, when we look at the whole picture and we reflect back on every moment, and a lot of times this is what happens when we cross over to the other side and we have that life review. But I'll tell you, Monica, we can have a life review every day if we want to reflect and feel into it, and then consciously bring our energy back to the present moment, to the now, because we don't want to live in the past.
Yeah. You are... I mean, that's so fascinating, life review every day.
Yes, absolutely. And we are choosing in every moment how we want to perceive the world, how we want to respond, and we're creating our reality. And it's a matter of choice. And I think just being aware of our energetic emission is essential.
And that changes our experiences.
It does. It does. And that's why we can't change the past, but we can change how we choose to perceive it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once we are actually even willing to open our hearts to love,
Yes.
I think it starts changing for us, right?
It absolutely does. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, Shelley, I know, and I want to share with our listeners, you are an executive editor for OMTimes, and writing seems to be your passion.
I do love to write, but I will tell you, if I try to force it, I just get frustrated. So I absolutely have to be in that flow and let that inspiration come to me, and it's very easy.
Mm-hmm. And you are also, you teach, you are a Reiki master, you teach Reiki classes,
Yes.
and you are an intuitive medium, and you do readings and coach people.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do many different things, and I love every moment of what I do. And, upon doing readings, I recognize I am not a psychic fortune teller per se. I honor people. I empower people. I want them to recognize that they are creating their reality. So I want to give them tools to assist them with that creation.
So you are a coach.
Yes. Yes, I definitely want to empower people. And, as far as a medium goes as well, I love connecting those to the other side, bringing forth messages to their loved ones here. And many times those messages are ones of recognizing that there is a continuity of life. The physical existence as they were has shifted. Now their energy. And, many times people need closure or just to know that their loved ones are still here.
Mm-hmm. Shelley, tell us about the teleseminar that's going to...
Yes, I'm excited to be a part of Beyond the Ordinary show. This is John Burgos, and Season 8 kicks off on October 6th, and my segment will be on October 12th.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful. And, I definitely am learning so much from your wisdom and how authentically you have shared yourself in your books. And we will talk more about it when we are back. But I have to share a lot.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your host on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
If you remember living fearlessly, joyfully, and in a world filled with adventure, happiness, pleasure, and unbridled living, then this show is for you. Join me, Dame Nicole Brandon, as I bring you the world's top experts in wealth, creativity, flow, sea-edging technology, space, wellness, health, love, lust, and passion, all merging together each week here at the Hub of Happiness. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Passionate Living, where you can ride on the magic carpet ride of living and learn how to lead a passionately wild, exciting, and outrageously amazing life.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
We were talking about Shelley's work, and I've been reading Journey into Consciousness, and I'm so grateful because the way you have shared your own journey and how you evolved and with each experience is something that I think everyone can connect with, and it's so genuine, and like I said, it's so easy to connect, and I'm very grateful to you, and I would really encourage our listeners to read your books and connect with you. And you can connect with Shelley on shelleyorwilson.com, and also her Facebook page, facebook.com/intuitive medium Shelley. So thank you so much, Shelley, for giving us so much, so many insights and wisdom, and so much love that comes across when you are sharing yourself.
Well, thank you, Monica. And I would like to mention in celebration of my OMTimes cover and interview this week that I am offering all three of my books, 28 Days to a New You, Connect to the You Within, and Journey into Consciousness, ebooks through Amazon free.
Oh,
so
my God.
The downloads are available beginning today through October 3rd in any country, any place, Amazon.com. Just type in Shelly Wilson or one of the book titles, and you can download all three and read them. And the wonderful thing, too, you don't have to have a Kindle. You can actually, there's a free application that you can download if you want to read it on your computer and download it that way, or to your tablet or to your phone. So I want to be sure and mention that to the listeners.
That's so wonderful.
They can receive it for free.
Thank you so much. Now, I definitely will go straight in. Like I said, it's your books are easy to read, easy to understand, very easy to connect and follow. So I definitely encourage everyone to, and these are all free. Why not read? Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And you know what I want to remind the listeners too is that everyone has the power to create, and the more that they are aware of that power, the more that they're aware of that energetic emission, the more that they can create consciously.
Mm-hmm. So Shelley, on that, I want to ask you something, because a lot of our listeners are into healing work, are healers.
Yes.
So, and I know, so many of us struggle with finding people who really need help.
Yes.
But somehow we are not able to reach them.
Absolutely. Well, I think, too, that we have to recognize, and sometimes this is really hard for people to comprehend and understand, but I feel that if we can recognize that the journey that we're on, that this life experience as who we are for this lifetime, that if we can see that every experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, is part of our human life experience. So although we really may want to be healed from certain conditions, if we can look and say, well, why am I having this? Mm-hmm. What is the experience? How am I responding? And as I said, I know some people that may, they may cringe when they hear those words, but I've had several health challenges during my lifetime, and fortunately I'm able to look back and understand where it originated and how I responded to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, again, it goes back to being aware and knowing and recognizing our feelings and what really, because like you said, every physical issue or the situations or the experiences around us are related to what's within.
Yes.
How we
absolutely.
feel. So it's, again, going in, realizing, recognizing, and helping us shift. And I like it. It's so beautiful going back to that exercise of breathing. I mean, we breathe all the time, but consciously breathing.
It's different. It's absolutely different. And we can become aware if our breathing is heavy or, we're out of breath or things like that. And I think, once again, taking big, deep breaths and just visualize that emerald green healing energy filling our lungs, flowing through us, and then exhaling the pain, the hurt, the suffering, the frustration, anything that we're feeling that doesn't serve us, let's just let it go, release it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Shelley, tell us about the message that you are trying to convey with your writing.
Well, I absolutely write to people, for people, versus, trying to write over them. So I definitely, the way that I write is very conversational. I want to connect with people. Mm-hmm. And with the books that I've written, 28 Days to a New You started out as a daily OM course, Stop Existing and Start Living. So it gives you tools to shift your perception. The second book, Connect to the You Within, started out as a daily OM course, Opening Your Heart to Love. And it's that reminder that your soul is already awake. You simply just need to connect to that knowingness of your soul. And then my book, Journey into Consciousness, that's my story. So the first section provides you insight to what made me who I am, those experiences, and how I perceive them. So I give you what I learned as well as a tool and a message for your journey so you can apply that experience to your own. The second section is my awakening to when the book came out. And then the third section is focused on tips and tools to assist you with creating the life you desire on this journey into consciousness.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And are you currently writing, or is there?
Well, I have a lot of writing I've been doing, and as I said, I write for OMTimes, so I love contributing, and I also write a blog on my website, ShellyRWilson.com, and I do have a book in my head. It's not begun to be on paper or on computer, that's how we write now, but it is about empowering others. That's really when I want to go with this topic is how we can feel empowered, the choices that we make, feel good about life. And so I feel it coming, but it's not actually begun yet, shall we say. Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to it.
Well, thank you.
But I have to share that Shelley has been a featured writer for OMTimes for a lot of years now, and there are so many helpful articles where she coaches us to empower ourselves, that, and those are all available.
Yes, absolutely. You can go to OMTimes.com and click my name in the search, or you can go to my website, ShellyRWilson.com, and I have a page that says OMTimes. So all of the articles that I've written for them, there are links that will take you back to their website as well.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so, there are a lot of insights and wisdom from Shelley, which, I'm very grateful for. And definitely, I think we all should try her teachings and coaching. And I'm very much looking forward to the teleseminar that's coming up. So, Shelley, what is your message for the budding authors and writers?
Well, I definitely feel write what you are passionate about, because so many people, once again, they try to force something. But if you let that inspiration flow, it's just going to come, and let it go in the direction that it takes you. Just let the words flow forth from you.
So I mean, I know there is so much emphasis these days on, how the words are, and how those are organized.
Yes.
But do you feel that really takes away the essence of the book or the article?
Well, I think that obviously there's going to be people that resonate with different topics or different ways of the information being conveyed or different writing styles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, just be you and let that flow from you in your words and how you write. And the beautiful thing is there's always editors. So, you can have someone else read your writing and,
mm-hmm.
and look at it and provide some tips for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, Monica, I want to say to you before the show ends, what an amazing host you are. This has been a fabulous time together, and it's over already, but the beautiful thing is the listeners can listen to the archive segments and join us once again.
I'm so honored. We are so grateful to you, Shelley, for taking this time and sharing so much love and wisdom, and connecting with us. I really, really am very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica.
Have a wonderful day, and I wish the best to all our listeners, all our friends who are listening and will be listening, and to everyone, just sharing that emerald green light from Archangel Raphael that flows freely whenever we ask for it. Thank you. Namaste, and have a most wonderful life.